Chris Mackowski of Emerging Civil War, and I am in Parliament Square in London, England, hanging out with America's most famous president, Abraham Lincoln. The statue of him here in London dates back to 1930. It's an exact replica of the one that stands in Lincoln Park in Chicago, sculpted by Augustus St. Gaudin, one of America's most famous sculptors. This replaces a statue of Lincoln that had been here, known as the Stomach Ache Lincoln, because of the way the statue's hands were placed. People didn't like the statue, it was shipped off, and instead we get the Gaudin statue here in Parliament Square. You can hear the sound of Big Ben off behind me, striking 11 o'clock. It's a busy, bustling day here in London, but it was important for me to come and pay my respects to the president because of his important relationship with the United Kingdom during the American Civil War. Of course, we know that keeping England out of the war was a central concern for Lincoln during the early years of his administration. The Emancipation Proclamation does a lot to change those dynamics beginning in 1863, but there's still that concern that somehow the Great Britain and France might recognize the Confederacy because of various economic and political connections. So Lincoln spends a great deal of attention during the first 2 years of his term making sure that Great Britain stays out of the war. Charles Francis Adams, his minister to Great Britain, is the man that Lincoln credits, aside from Grant, as the one who wins the war because he's able to prevent England's participation on the Confederacy side. So I love this statue in particular because Lincoln looking down as opposed to looking up and looking majestic and off into the future. It's a very introspective statue because of the way he kept considering that relationship that he has with this wonderful country. So through the magic of technology, let me bring in my great friend Darren Rawlings of the U.S. Civil War and UK history. It's always about it.
It's always been a bit of a bit, but we'll let you off because, you know, you're a great guy.
Darren's been the one kind enough to show me around on this trip to London. And as we sit here in the shadow of Abraham Lincoln, what does Lincoln mean to you as a citizen of England?
To me, he means everything. You know, this guy is, and again, I think we was having this conversation last night, he's the right person in the right place at the right time as far as the Civil War is concerned. But to me, he symbolises freedom, he symbolises everything that a person should be, you know. And for me, he's just a special guy, and he's someone that I'm just fascinated by, you know, and the way he, you know, goes about the diplomatic issues surrounding certain things is just fantastic.
Now, here in Parliament Square, there are a number of dignitaries who have statues. But he's in pretty elite company here. I see Gandhi, I see Churchill. What's it like to kind of be here among all these luminaries?
Oh wow, it's just an amazing place to walk around. And again, my favourite is Winston Churchill, you know, seeing that guy standing there, what that guy did for this country, he saved us, you know. And for me, that is probably, apart from Mr. Lincoln behind me, is one of my favourite ones. And also, you know, being a Brit and liking Lincoln so much, and actually being able to come somewhere in England to see Abraham Lincoln, for me is a special thing as well.
Kind of getting to pay our respects.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, and I think about him in this context here. These are Goliaths of world history, really. I mean, Nelson Mandela's here. Lord Palmerston, who was Lincoln's counterpart in Great Britain at the time. And to have Lincoln situated among those giants of history is pretty incredible.
To me, it's just amazing. And again, be able to come and visit Lincoln on my own soil is fantastic.
Darren, if people want to check out your work, how can they do it?
Yeah, so if you just go to put in American Civil War and UK history, and you'll find all of my content, including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
And of course, you can find him too on the Emerging Civil War YouTube page. He's done some work for us there as well. Darren, thanks for showing us around today.
Thanks to you.
So, I'm Chris Mackowski with Darren Rawlings. We'll see you online, on the battlefield, and in downtown London.